Right, call the regular City of White Lakes Council meeting of Monday, September 25th, 2023 to order. Roll call, please.
Scott.
Here.
Beauregard.
Here.
Graham. Here. Kramer. Here. Zins.
Here. Everybody please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Everybody had a chance to look at those items? And if so, is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Councilor Kramer, is there support?
I'll support.
Supported by Councilor Grant. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Yes, and citizens, anybody want to speak? Reports from staff, city administrator, Ryan.
I did hear back from the Frisbee Golf contractor. He's hoping to get prices and a potential contract back to me by the end of the week. I still haven't received any balance reports from our ambulance billing company, which is a little concerning, as we are now in the 9th, almost 10th month of the year. And then the Aurora Water Treatment Facility bidding came back at $8 million over their anticipated budget. And so my understanding that project is currently on hold. We will still move forward with discussions with the Aurora Joint Water Project or the Aurora Townway Joint Water Project Board. But I do know that their project is significantly over budget at this time, and so they are looking at what their options are for funding. That's all tonight, thank you.
Wade.
We've all heard the email that, ice plant went down. Commercial refrigeration is working on it. They're running tests on it right now, trying to find a leak because we lost refrigerant. And one car, the ice wouldn't freeze anymore. Beyond that, I can't tell you a whole lot more until they get back. The test they started yesterday, the 48-hour test, so yes, they're checking pressures tomorrow afternoon. At this point, that's all I know.
So I assume by the pile of ice and snow in the back.
There's no
There's
ice.
nothing on the ice on the.
Ice is gone. I'll keep you informed. I just don't know until they find the problem, what it is, so. No guesses either.
Okay, thank you. Good.
Very public utilities started a little rough this morning, found a backup at the wastewater plant right away. Got that stopped about 15 minutes after I arrived there. Ended up having to call the duty officer and Minnesota Pollution Control Agency and ran samples of lab. So basically we bypassed 10 to 15,000 gallons of raw wastewater. So at this point, I'm asking citizens that I posted at the gold landing stuff to avoid physical contact with whitewater lake for the next week, as it may cause health problems. So grand scheme of things in that lake, your most dangerous area is probably gonna be in Back Bay area. Back towards where the wastewater plant discharges. I don't foresee any problems out on Patriots Way area, but just to be safe, I do recommend they avoid physical contact. If the rain will quit, I'm gonna have sludge haulers come in this week and hopefully start hauling sludge out for us in the wastewater plant. That should take, once they're up and going, 2-3 days of hauling is my guess. It's hard to say with the longer distance they have to travel. Like that County Road 666 down. That, they have to go through Aurora to get the sludge out. The other thing I have coming up is starting the first week in October. We're gonna start flushing hydrants again, so I want people to be aware of that. If you notice Kelly on there on the streets flushing. Be patient if your water's probably flushing hydrants like that, you're disrupting everything in the system. It will pass. And then lastly, on October 3rd, we have the Minnesota Rural Water coming up to do an in-town conference in town. It'll give my operators 6 hours to training credits, so that'll be good. And we'll have other people in town from other towns coming in, getting training credits as well. We'll be doing that at the community center and then go up to the smaller plants. That's all I got.
Did you, find a, reason that the background?
Yeah, so with the heavy rains this weekend, what happened is the guys dialed back the plant and started diverting to our EQ tank. The EQ tank looked good yesterday afternoon. They did calculations based on how fast they thought it was filling. They thought it would be okay. My best guess is she started overflowing maybe 4:30 in the morning, somewhere around there. Had a discussion with them, on that in the future, and I mean, next time they're just gonna have to allow more flow to go into the plant. We're also in a unique situation right now. We just had one of our, the Joy of Electronics, one of our cards that controls that tank has gone down. We've had Rick come in and work on a few things with that. Every time he resets it, a couple hours later, it goes down. Word was put into the electrician's killer. They're supposed to get a guy up here anytime now to start testing the fiber optics for that, to see why we're having that communication fault. But at this time, with that communication fault in there and that card not working, we don't get a high level signal. So we got to trust just going out there and physically checking it.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
So far today, the ambulance is at 7 runs this month, we're up about 5% from last year. Other than that, I just have a generator.
The attorney general? No, the better Monday at the city attorney's office, and the public utilities in the arena, I think in person. But no, I'm just kidding. And the only thing I have is, actually, I have something fun, the cannabis ordinance, so, on the old business, we have the second reading of cannabis ordinance, and I think the only thing that we discussed at the last meeting, so basically the ordinance prohibits the use of cannabis in public places within the city, but I think there was mention before on whether we would want to carve out exceptions for campsites at Fisherman's Point, the golf course, glad waits here tonight, we want to carve out an exception to the golf course, and then the only other one, you have a disc golf course in White Lakes?
Yes, well, we're looking at putting one in. The other thing that the council may want to consider is special events. So if a special event someone takes a special event permit out, renting public property, if they can utilize it, we have the cannabis ordinance for that type of thing. So,
Yeah, with disc golf, don't need stereotype, but I mean, but a lot of people who disc golf, maybe like the smoke joint once in a while, so. Might be something, I don't know, it's completely up to you whether you want to carve out those different sections, so. So with that, we'll get to that on the agenda, but, just give that some thought on the label section during the ordinance or not. If you don't have to now, I mean, at some point, if you just wanna pass it as is and see how it goes, and that there's requests to have, use cannabis products and those other tied into those types of recreational activities in the city or what have you, I mean, we can always amend the ordinance down the road too, to see what your experience is once you get this passed. So that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Reports from elected officials, Councilor Kramer,
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
Councilor Grimes,
Nothing to report tonight.
Councilor Border.
Riot Rally was last weekend. It seemed like it was a very big success. We had a lot of people, the banquet went very well, Other Times Bridge. So I'll say a big thank you to all the volunteers and donors that made it happen. It's a great event for us to help host, and it's all for a great cause of getting more trails and encouraging more tourism in the area. I want to especially thank the police and EMS members that were working on the event. They were working hard to keep everybody safe and get everybody back. So that's all.
Okay. Councilor Scott,
Nothing to report.
and I don't have anything. Old business, ordinance. Unnumbered this moment. This is the canvas. Which Mitch was referring to.
I believe last meeting, the council wanted more time to consider if you wanted to implement carve outs or not. It has not been yet posted, and so you cannot pass it tonight. But if you want us to implement some carve outs, we can. You can write that in, or if you want to pass that as we can have it on the next agenda.
Anybody from the council have any comments? Or concerns?
Probably like to put an exception in there for Fisherman's Point, I mean, when people purchase those for the whole season, they have it for 6 months, so that is kind of their residence that they bought for 6 months. I think, that and the golf course would make sense to just put exceptions in right away, since they're outdoor areas for people frequent. But, not a lot of children around the playground or anything.
About the Fisherman's Point playground.
So we got.
Well, I'm thinking just in your campsite.
So the way the way I would add that, and if you look at the ordinance under subdivision 1A, and then I could add a small one, 4. Which you would just say, I just scribbled in campsites, fishermen, campsites at Fisherman's Point campground.
Yeah, just the actual campsites, the number of sites, not the common space, the whole landing and playground.
And then we would add a sub paragraph, small one, 5, which would be whether it's municipal golf course.
For my thoughts, I don't know if anyone else has anything to add, but.
I would agree. I think that, if we aren't prohibiting tobacco or alcohol. Or having our votes.
Mitch, do we need to make a motion for these 2 additions or just?
So what you would do then is you would, when you pass the, if there's a motion made to pass the ordinance, it would be a motion made to approve the ordinance as amended. It goes to.
That's right, but we haven't posted it yet, so it has to be in the next agenda.
Yeah, actually, so what I think we would do is, I think you can just.
Direct us to make those changes.
Yeah, we make those changes, then what would happen is we bring it back at the next meeting, it would be approved. For posting, then it would be posted in the legal newspaper as a proposed ordinance or new ordinance change. And then at the following meeting, it'd be given final approval,
Well, we can post it, we post a draft for 10 days prior to the meeting.
and that hasn't been done yet?
That hasn't been done yet, because we have to have the language that's gonna be
Yeah,
drafted.
and then once we posted it, then at the
Next meeting.
meeting, it's approved, and then it just has to be published.
Yes, correct, yep.
Yeah, so we should have one more meeting, you would have to approve it at the next meeting with amendments that are made at the council. The rest, if you want those amendments made, I would just add that like we did and we'd have it on the next agenda. Well, I'll get it over to Becky, she'll post it in the legal paper, and then at the next meeting, we'll give it final approval.
It's just not. Yeah,
If we wanted to include special events, would there be some sort of permitting process where they would apply for something to get?
we already have a special event permitting process in place, and so those special events come to you, the ones that have been applied for this year are water carnival and the ride and rally event. They would list that out as part of their requests, I put a checkbox for that. And the only reason I mentioned that is because it would be near impossible for enforcement at water carnival with that number of people there for the police to chase down people.
And that might be addressed already in Roman numeral sub 3, where it's in the premises of an establishment or event licensed to permit on-site consumption. So we could, so when somebody comes for an event permit, and if they ask, you know, for cannabis products to be able to use at the site of the event, we could include that in the permit approval. So I think it's already covered following the sub 3. Yeah.
Would that also apply to some of these state wedding at the arena or something like that, or?
There's no smoking indoors,
Yeah.
yeah, but other than that.
Right, yeah.
And the beverage products over there are not included in this?
Beverage products are under the THC cannabinoid ordinance, as opposed to this is the, adult use of cannabis. So the limits are simply different.
All right, Mitch, you know, or Becky will make those changes.
Yeah.
For the next meeting. All right, moving on to new business, 11-1. Ranger ATV Somerville Club invoice in the amount of $8,750.74 for the Moose Trail Water Building Project.
The city acts as fiscal agent, so we write a check for these and then we get reimbursed through various grants. From the state and other agencies, so it's just a pass-through trust, and that will apply for the next 3 invoices.
Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Councilor Scott, is there support?
Awesome.
Supported by Councilor Crane, is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed, motion carries. 11-2, Ranger ATV Snowmobile Club invoice in the amount of $749.31. And $47,150 for the Moose Trail. Go out to bid. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Councilor Graham, is there support? I'll support that. Supported by Councilor Scott. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed, motion carried. 11-3, Ranger ATV Snowmobile Club invoice in the amount of $103,065 for the Moose Trail Water Stable project. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Councilor Kramer, is there support?
Support.
Supported by Councilor Graham, any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carries. 11-4, change order number 2 from Lindsay Enterprises and the deduct amount of $499 for the Fisherman's Point Bathhouse project. A motion to approve. Motion made by Councilor Scott, is there support?
I'll support.
Supported by Councilor Graham. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carries. 11.5, pay request number 13 from Lindsay Enterprises in the amount of $26,486.08 for the Fisherman's Point Tower.
This is the final pay request for the bathhouse project. There was a change to IRRR rules where we have to have certified payroll accounts prior to submittal to receive grant monies. We fortunately have already paid out or received our grant monies for this project, so that's not a concern, but we still will be required to have those projects.
Right, is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Council Kramer, is there support?
All support.
Supported by Council Borger. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Well, 11.6, lawful gambling application to conduct student bingo by the Hoyle Lakes Fire Relief Association on 10/27/2023 at VFW Post 8144. There a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Councilor Borger, with support. I'll support. Supported by Councilor Scott. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carried. 11.7, letter of resignation from Hoyt Lakes Ambulance Service. I'm gonna read this letter. Please accept this as my letter of resignation from the Hoyt Lakes Fire Department, EMS only, effective 9/15/2023. It has been a great honor over the past 39 years to work with so many talented and wonderful people. The communities involved in our service area are fortunate to have such a strong, dedicated, talented, professional group of people ready to respond when needed. I highly value the friendships made over the years and will sadly miss this great group of people. Dan Todd. There a motion to approve this letter of resignation.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Councilor Grant, with their support.
I'll support.
Support by Councilor Kramer. Is there any further discussion? Just like to thank Dan for all the years of his service. He retired from the fire department and stayed on, worked with the ambulance for many years. Good luck to Dan in his retirement. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. 2024-2025 joint powers agreement for the ambulance service with the city of Aurora. Oh. Excuse me, I missed, request to hire casual part-time ES drivers for the White Lakes ambulance.
And there was one typo in your packet. Instead of Kyle Ross from the Aurora Fire Department, it is Mike Woods from the Aurora Fire.
Do they have to go through any special training for those?
They need to be CPR certified and have a PBOC driving first.
And we don't require that they do applications with us because all the people we hire are background checked through another agency, like the Aurora Fire Department or the Palo Fire Department.
All right, is there a motion to approve the hire of casual part-time EMS drivers for the White Lakes ambulance service?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Councilor Scott, is there support? Support by Councilor Borger. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Number 9 is the 2024-2025 joint powers agreement for the ambulance service with the city of Aurora and the town of White. Becky?
Yep, the Tri-City Ambulance Board met last Monday, the 18th, discussed this joint powers agreement. It's been in place for many years. And so this agreement was recommended for pass by Aurora, the town of White, and the city of White Lakes. It increases the fees to $1,000 per month in 2024 and $1,200 per month in 2025. Our hope is by that time we will have a special tax district in place, in which case we can, in writing, just negate this contract with the three entities. So
All right, is there a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Councilor Grams, is there support?
I'll support.
Support by Councilor Kramer. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 11:10, citizen request regarding the city council agenda item.
the citizen is not here today.
Here. All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
That motion.
Motion made by Councilor Graham, is there support? Support by Councilor Kramer. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.